Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Terrestrial Material, where we talk about the material us terrestrials are interested in. This is going to be episode 18. We're going to call this Which Came First, the Conspiracy Theorist or the Conspiracy? So we're going to be talking about, obviously, more than UFOs tonight. We kind of want to take a nice range over all the different conspiracies that we've seen out there, maybe the ones that have got us involved with the topic. And we have really, really great guests, as you can see in the title. We have Alien Addict and The Cosmic Twilight. And what's really cool about them is this is their second appearance with us, but they have really good opinions that are more than just UFOs. And so we wanted to have a really nice conversation about those conspiracies. And if you want to check them out, which you should, if you don't already know who they are, don't know how that would be the case, but if you don't, in the description, please go follow their channels. Alien Addict's link for the YouTube is there, as well as The Cosmic Twilight for Nick. Now, we also have French returning tonight, Steve French, which is a really great thing to have back to the channel. He's been feeling a bit better, so we don't want to leave him all waiting too much longer. Let's get on over to the panel. How's everybody doing tonight? Ollie, Nick, French.
Hey, yo. Right.
I was still on mute then.
No, perfect. No, it's I know we had a little show last night, Ollie. It's great to see everybody back again. But yeah,
we did some actual UFOs.
I know we had the videos
and some fake ones.
Yeah. Hopefully, a couple of them were real. We did have a lot of videos. Hidden had some really cool videos, didn't he?
Yeah, it's awesome.
He's kind of the master. Frenchie, how you doing tonight?
I'm okay. Yeah, last weekend I had to fix my car because it's the only one I got. So, and then just last night I sliced my finger. Cutting 6 stitches on the middle one.
Oof. Yeah, so how'd that happen again?
Rains, it pours. I was sitting there cooking, cutting my onions and my garlic, and my cat jumped up, and my stove was already like on and like roaring. And my cats have this really bad habit of just walking across the stovetop no matter what. So like when the cat jumped up, it startled me, and I was like holding the onion, and it just sliced right through it completely across both those fingers. And I was like, oh, that's a good one. Just like looked, and I was like,
it must have stung twice as hard because it's cutting up onions and garlic. So.
Actually, it didn't. But what's funny is when I went to the ER, they were like, oh, it's a good thing you're cutting onions because it's like a natural antiseptic. I was like, what? I was like, I did not know that, but cool. I'm not gonna go rub onions in my wounds.
Have you been crying now? It's the onions.
Yeah. Well,
so my cat does the similar type of thing, but not when I'm chopping anything or whenever I go to the toilet and I'm stood up. The cat just has this weird thing where he will jump on the toilet and get urinated on.
Oh my God.
Like, it's a crazy cat.
So
then I have to like chase him to try and clean the urine off him.
Oh my God.
with a hose.
I don't know how I'd explain that to the missus. I weed on the cat.
Oh man. No, my cat.
One of those episodes.
Dude, when we got our first cat, I had like a premonition moment. And we're gonna get to the conspiracy talk in a second, guys. It's not gonna be all cats, trust me. Even though the internet loves cats, I know you guys like your cats, but we're gonna get to it. But real quick, when we got our cat, it was the first cat that I had ever had. And I was leaning over the sink. I just got out of the shower and I was brushing my teeth, and so I didn't have a shirt on. And the cat jumps on the sink next to me. And in my mind, guys, I said, what if he just jumped on my bare back with his claws? And I kid you not, 10 seconds later, that cat jumps on my back, in the pure terror, I can tell you, that come across me. It was like Freddy Krueger was hanging on me. On my bare skin, dude. I flung myself back to get him off, and luckily he let go. And I was like, "Oh my God, this is gonna be the worst thing ever." So back out all clawed up, and I told my wife, I was like, "I don't think we can do this cat. I think we got to get rid of this cat." We never got rid of him though. He's wonderful. But yeah, cats are a lot of fun, but they can be very, very painful as well. How did everybody get involved into conspiracies? Nick, Ollie, French, where did this all really begin with you guys? Was it UFOs? Was it the moon? Was it JFK? Where did it start?
Who wants to go first?
Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to watch out what words I say.
Please do.
I've always been into UFOs. When we had the interview I did with you guys, I mentioned about my parents. Now, my parents are conspiracy theorists. They are. Me and my dad has always been to UFOs. Me and my mum has always been to like conspiracies and mostly ghosts. So I've always been brought up watching, X-Files and stuff like that. But the day when, I can remember this day very clearly. My mum was on the early days of YouTube. This is like 2007, the glory days, the golden days of YouTube.
Right,
where
right.
You can watch any conspiracy video. And it was in regards of a plane hitting the Pentagon that sort of day.
Right.
And she showed me one of the videos. I was like, okay, there's something not right here. And then you get sucked down that rabbit hole, and then I've never looked back since. So yeah, that's where it started for me. And obviously when you lead to one conspiracy, it leads to another conspiracy and another one. You will go down that deep rabbit hole, which we've pretty much all gone through. So that's me really. I'm more skeptical now when it comes to conspiracies. I think you've got to look both ways. And Lee said this many times. You've got to say to yourself, am I full of shit? Sorry, I shouldn't swear. Am I a load of rubbish? Is what am I researching into a load of rubbish? So you have to go both sides. What the mainstream is saying, say mainstream, and what the conspiracy side is saying. So I weigh up the two, really. So you've got to have a skeptical mind, but
lose him? We can get him back. Is he back?
Yeah.
Okay, let me pull him up here. This happens from time to time, boys, with StreamYard. No, you're good. You're good. But go ahead.
Go. Oh no, that's it. Yeah, I was basically you've got to have sort of a skeptical side when it comes to conspiracies, because you're just going to go down one echo chamber, and it's not healthy, put it that way. It was a time in my life I was like, I got to step back from watching, Alex Jones and stuff like that, because it can sour your day. But yeah, that's me.
Perfect. Ali, what about you?
Well, I don't know if you might. I know Nick's probably heard this before, but mine's from like a real early. I mean, some stuff happened when I was a kid. Like I've had experiences with stuff, but getting me into the subject of UFOs with my dad. We used to just walk the dog on a night. My dad always repeats stories. Probably a lot of dads do, but this particular one, I always wanted him to tell me this story over and over again. So then he was like a broken record. He'd tell me the story all over, like even when anyone hear it. The story. He was in the Merchant Navy, and I think it was in like the early 80s, maybe late 70s. I'm probably getting the dates wrong there, but he saw him and quite a few people that were on deck saw something shoot from one end of the horizon to the other one, went straight over the ship. And like protocol back then, even in the Merchant Navy, if you see anything, you call it in. So they called it in as UFO. And still to this day, when I ask him, I said, do you think it could have been like some sort of test plane or anything like that? And he says, no. No, it wasn't a test plane. It literally went straight over.
Wow.
No sound whatsoever. No, absolutely silent. But they all saw it. So, and then I kind of just started to watch. I mean, there were no kind of internet. Well, there was internet, but it was terrible.
It was mostly for video gaming.
Yeah, but so I was born 1980, and I think when I was growing up, I probably just from leaving school started to get really into like sci-fi, paranormal, UFOs, mainly UFOs and aliens. And you may have seen me. I always keep this next to my desk. I bought this when I was 15 years old.
Very cool.
As you can see there, 1995. And I had the videotape. I think I've still got the videotape of the original alien autopsy somewhere.
Is that the image on the front? It's the alien from it, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's good.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that it kind of just all spurred on from my dad, really. But yeah, that's literally what got me into it, and eventually I just thought, well, I keep listening to everybody else. Maybe I'll have a go at it myself.
I can understand that. Yeah, it's always
Right.
the dads. You don't hear about many moms getting their children into conspiracies. I wonder why that is, though. Well, I'm not making fun of women for it. I'm just saying, like, wonder why that is. I mean, it's always so heavily male dominated.
Yeah.
My
It's very
dad's
it's a bit
more
interesting.
like
the science. My mum's more like the woo. So
Oh, okay.
she's into the ghosts and stuff like that. Saying that my dad's into ghosts as well.
it's a bit like
Sorry.
serial killers. If you look at like serial killers, the gender that finds it more, I would say, appealing is actually the women. It's
Yeah.
actually like a lot of podcasters who deals with serial killers. A lot of them are actually women listeners, believe it or not. So
Yeah, that's a good
take
point.
that what you will. Yeah.
My,
Yeah, so-
my wife loves anything to do with true crime, serial
Cold case
killers. And all that.
files.
It's
Same
really
with my
weird.
missus. It's
So-
honestly, yeah.
So men love ET and women love Ted Bundy. We got it. We got you. You know, way it goes. Way it goes. Frenchie, what about you? I don't want to get too far off without asking you. What was an original conspiracy theory? What really made you interested in any of these topics at all?
Mine was actually the same as Nick's, but it didn't really like click, and I didn't want to like really look into anything like that until I started my first factory job. And my supervisor was just like, he was really into all that stuff. That's all he would talk about. He didn't even care about how your work was going. He would just come up with some random new thing that he discovered the night before. At the time, I was like, oh, dude, you just got to shut up. Like, you're nuts. And then he started saying stuff and like explaining more and more. And I was like, all right, I'm going to do my own research on it. And so it was the Pentagon one. And I was like, huh, some of the stuff he says is actually kind of interesting and makes a good point. And then like from there again, it just snowballs and rolls into everything else.
Yeah.
And then ghosts and stuff too. I've always kind of believed in that too, but not so much recently anymore. I don't think. I think it's kind of been put in the back of my mind.
That's an interesting thing you bring up. Are ghosts considered a conspiracy theory? I mean, would we throw that in the same basket, or where do we categorize that? I've never thought about that before. That's interesting.
I think paranormal is a conspiracy, isn't it? It's always been mocked, isn't it? Anything to do with a conspiracy theory is going to be mocked, and I think paranormal that fits in that category. My own opinion.
Yeah.
I guess you could, but I don't really hear it much. But yeah, you could put it in that category.
No. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's more like conspiracy, but I would say I think they kind of go hand in hand. If you're into like conspiracy theories and stuff, you're probably going to have your own opinion on, paranormal stuff too.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I was big into ghosts for a really long time. Until you learn more about, the video and the audio manipulation that happens. And,
Yeah.
you kind of like, what's really here and what's not. I've never had like a ghost experience myself. So I don't know, maybe I would be more involved if I had. I've seen or like heard weird steps and stuff like that, but you never know. It's creaking, stairs and pipes and, banging, and who really knows. But what about as far as conspiracy, which one, and we got to be careful, I think, how we name it, but which conspiracy do we feel hurts the government's reputation the most out of all of them? The American government.
Well, if you go back to JFK, I think that's an old-time one that really got the public. I think from what listening to what the public is saying about JFK is that they haven't told the truth about it. There's definitely some sort of cover up, and I think the perception of, oh my God, the CIA can actually kill people, actually take out our leaders and everything. I think that is the old school. Now, talk about present day is something that happened 3 years ago, and that is such a clear sign because we know what we're talking about. The
Right.
thing, and when we had to be locked in our homes for
Right.
being told what to do and everything. The amount of people I speak to now, and I'm very open about this topic. I was very reserved, but now people's perception has changed. Oh my God, why did I do that? I should have taken this thing that hasn't been tested at all. And now the lawsuits are starting to come out. And who did not see that coming? Who did not see that coming? Honestly, it was a disaster waiting to happen economically as well, but the perception of the people as well. We talked about this before we went live. The perception has changed now in the public, um, almost like a dividing line between us. Like everyone's divided, but more people are starting to see the light. What we went through in that past 3 years, what actually came was a lot of it was lies, backhanded money from the pharmaceutical company, paying off politicians. I mean, one of our health secretary, Matt Hancock, his bloody messages were released, and it said in his WhatsApp messages we had to pump in the maximum amount of fear into the public. That's what he said, and it's just shocking. So all the crap's now is about to come out, but I think that played a massive part in people going, hold on a goddamn second, you're doing what now? You need to stay at home. I can't see my family member. It's just, yeah. But that's my opinion on that one. What
Yeah.
about you guys?
What do you think, Ali?
Well, I mean, I could completely agree with Nick, but I do think, especially of late, that the whole topic of UFOs, extraterrestrials, even the woo behind it, the dimensional stuff. I think that is probably one of them I think that's probably one that scares them the most. And I'll tell you for why. Because the amount of ridicule it's had over the years, and then they've gone down this, oh well, we'll look into it. And now with what's happened of late, it's almost like, what are we doing with it? Are they controlling it? There is something to this. Now, whether that is little green men, I don't know. But I do think there's definitely something to this that is not that is so out there that did any of you see Tucker Carlson the other day on he interviewed, forgotten his name
Raj?
now. No, guy interviewed
Jones.
before that. No, between the two.
No, I mean I've only seen the Jones interview and the Grush one
Elon
recently from
Musk.
Tucker. Yeah.
So he says something to I forgot the guy's name, but anyway,
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah.
no, it wasn't Elon Musk. No, it was another like talk show guy, and they were talking kind of politics and all that, and then they got to what they feared the most, and Tucker Carlson said that.
Oh, Redacted, the Redacted episode. Yeah.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
He said
right.
something about the UFO subject is one that he fears the most, and it was almost like he was saying, I know something, and Redacted kind of nodded to say, I know why. So what have they been told? Or is this just playing it up to, your audience? I would hope it isn't. But because I can feel it. I felt it for a while now. I felt that there is something coming down the line. And they are now trying to control what comes out to the public. I don't know if we're going to see that these things have been like, Flight of the Navigator, an actual physical craft
Yeah.
that takes people. It might be none of that. It might be something might be something from here.
Sure.
I recently I've contemplated that quite often. Is it something that has just been here for a very, very long time? And as much as people I say people, some people don't believe Bob Lazar. There was something really interesting he said in that Joe Rogan interview that he'd never said before. And it's almost like it a bombshell that dropped. Whether he is complete BS or not, when he said, I think it was from an archaeological dig, that really did like ring alarm bells. I'm like,
I wouldn't be
that's
surprised.
probably what it is. That's probably what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if it's mostly just that the UFO and them covering up whatever this phenomena is, it could be the most damaging for their reputation because they don't have any control over it. You know, with the buildings and with JFK and with you know other virus things that go on. I mean, these are all things that I think at the end of the day they have a lot more control over, and this is just one that they don't. And it would just show just the lack of ability to keep people safe that we've never probably seen before on that kind of a scale. What do you think, French? What do you think is most damaging for the reputation for our government when it comes to conspiracies?
I mean, what Ali said is pretty much, and I agree with him. I think that one is probably the most, but it seems like within the last, let's say, like 10 years, even whatever's happened in that time frame has seemed to be the most damaging and the most that you've seen people more like involved and like worried about it than in the past, you know, just from like a weird kind of perspective, especially from people like conspiracy theorists in general. Like, yeah, they'll go back and talk about, you know, all of them from way back when, you know, it doesn't matter. But even the people that have done that up until like, you know, this last recent time frame, they talk about all of those recently more than ever. It's like, huh. And you gotta wonder. Maybe they're not crazy, maybe they are, you know. All conspiracy theorists, we all are, right? But
Yeah.
there's
Admittedly,
a
yeah.
reason. It's like excuse me. There's a reason that like they want to focus on these certain ones more.
Yeah.
It's like with anything that's bad, that anything that that is bad that happens to the world, people will make money off it anyway. Like you look at the past, what, 4 years and what happened. You know, people were selling loads of toilet roll. You know, people will always
yeah.
people will always try and make money off it. So when you see all the UFO celebrities popping up, you know, even the YouTube channels like us, you know, at some point there is something that we're after. You know, we're after knowledge, we're after excitement. We're fixing the boredom, but at the same time, we wouldn't mind if we could make a living off it at some point and quit as jobs, because that means you could do what you love to do. But I think there's players in this game that realize, hang about, this is a business. There was something I was told, and I think it's actually in the interview with Secure Team 10 that I did. He said, this is a business. Ufology is a business. If people think it's not, they're deluded.
I mean, he's right. Yeah. I mean, where there's money to be made, people will dig for it for sure.
Yeah. It's like all these foundations that's been started. It's like the Soul Foundation. There was another one by the guy that has got hair like sheep. I can't remember what his name is. I can't
Danny
remember,
Sheehan. Danny Sheehan.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just every time I see him, he looks like a sheep. Honestly, it's like no offense, but he wanted like £1,000, $1,000.
I know. I seen that.
Privilege. Man, I can't stand that. That's like pure grift right there.
What did you want £1,000 for?
For secret information, behind the scenes information. It was really bad, man. Yeah. I mean, look, I like I said before, and I've said in the past, I don't mind people making money off of it. I mean, as long as your intentions are in the right place. I mean, I can't stop people from having bad intentions in doing it. You know, that's I guess that's a really good thing to get a little understanding of my brain on a lot of this stuff, is that, you know, I try to control what I can, and what I can't. You know, I'm not going to scream all over the internet and yell at people who I think are doing things that I don't agree with all the time. I mean, half the time, you think James Fox cares what the hell I think? You know, right. I mean, he doesn't care. Yeah. You know, he's going to go on about his day. I'm not going to waste my time and yell at his Twitter wall and say, hey, man, next time you do a video, put that alien footage in there or get it the hell out of here. I mean, what is the point? If anything, even if he read it, guys, he'd probably just laugh and go, who's this kid somewhere, forget it and move on. So, yeah, I mean, it just kind of comes down to making sure the intentions are correct. And ufology does have a very open market. How many people, Nick, do you think gave Danny Sheehan $1,000? I'm betting it's a lot of people.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I'm
Yes,
betting
I
it's a
wouldn't be
lot of
surprised.
people. Yeah.
Yeah. They're very excited. The people that want disclosure. This is, I hate to be putting people into categories, but there's people that really want disclosure, and that is the people that would definitely pay £1,000. It's like the people that will give money to the Stars Academy, and look where that money went. You know, kind of into what Tom
Not on a
DeLonge's,
spaceship, that's
music
for
career.
sure.
Yeah, yeah, I'd love to see that spaceship. You know,
Yeah.
so it's just like I'm fed up of these false promises and hopes from these foundations when you've got to give money and you're going to get nothing out of it. And the fact is, you got to have, you know, $1,000. That's a lot of money, especially in 2023. You know, people are struggling. I mean, same in America as well. I just don't understand the purpose. If you want transparency, just bloody release it. You
Yeah.
know, what's the holdback? So these foundations is false hopes and promises.
Well, I kind of wonder
A good
too.
friend of mine.
Oh, go ahead, Ali. Yeah.
I was just
No,
gonna say,
no, go ahead.
A good friend of mine on Alien Addict used to Osvaldo Franco. We did a lot of shows together. He put a hell of a lot of money into TTSA, and I was concerned. I told somebody, that person blurted it out on the actual internet, and he fell out with me, and I don't blame him for that because I should have kept my mouth shut. But I was like, listen, we need to help this guy. I just, you know, I don't think he should waste his money on this. I mean, it's up to him what he did. What it's up to it. It's up to anybody what they do with their money. But
Right.
when you can't see the return happening, I would if I was putting money into something, I would expect one of you guys, and it was bullshit. Pardon my French. But I would expect one of you guys to go, hey Ollie, I think you should. I think you should. You know, calm down a little bit with that, mate. You know, see what's happening first.
Yeah.
You know?
You know, I don't want to go on too much of a tangent here, but just I guess a quick follow up to that is we know we're all men here. It's hard to try to tell another man what to do with his money or how to live. It's very difficult to be a good friend like that, you know, because you always wonder, you know, you trust that the guy has his head on straight and that he'll take what you're saying correct. And he understands that it's not offense and you're not trying to tell him how to live his life. But damn, it's hard to do that. You know what I mean? You want to just step out there and go, wait, you know, but how many of us have done that? Had a friend turn around and go, fuck you, you know? I don't like what you did. This is my life. And then you can ruin friendships that way. And I'm not saying you don't risk it, but I'm saying that it's a risk and it's hard to muster up the strength to do that sometimes, you know?
Absolutely. If you look at like once you go down that conspiracy route, it really changes your perception about everything. You go really gone from like 360, and then you kind of think it's your civic duty to go and tell other people that. But the way conspiracy theorists come across, they get huff and puffing. Yeah, but they're spraying us and all that, and it's just like, whoa, calm down. If you would have to speak rationally to the person, and you know, give like decent information, you can actually ration with that other person. You know, they'll say, okay, this guy got something, but this is what happens with the conspiracy people. Hates people and people in categories, you know, but they're like deep in conspiracy theories and they just haven't got that sort of take a step back a little bit. Just like calm down, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't they even myself, I'll accuse myself of this. I think all of us at some point, sometimes you can't step back from it to assess the situation. You kind of, you're that deep into it that you're like, this is because you're amazed, you know, you're bedazzled by it. You're in there. It's what you've always wanted. Then who's he or she to tell me that this isn't real, or you need to calm down with that? Yeah, you know, I've fallen out with friends over conspiracies.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
It's like that'll ruin friendships too. Probably even quicker than telling them what to do with their money, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're
Good
probably.
point.
Don't tell me about my space aliens, man. I'll tell you that. Yeah.
But French is that by design, you know, is the whole falling out with friends over conspiracies, that the whole design? That is that what you're supposed to do? That, maybe if you're onto something, and those the worst conspiracies, the ones where people will spit at you for it, you know, maybe those are the ones that we need to pay attention to.
No, for sure.
And what is going on in my garden? There are aliens out there. Aliens.
Well, I mean, it's an interesting point. I mean, it can kind of create a domino effect at that point. I mean, do we feel that there is a conspiracy out there that if we were to get the truth were to be exposed on it, it would kind of create a domino effect where we would just see all of the other conspiracies come true? We get the truth on the other areas too?
Yeah. If the
Good
truth
point.
came out about if the truth came out about John F. Kennedy, they'll be like, whoa. I mean, even for instance, like even with aliens, be like, I think a vast majority of the population would go, hold on, goddamn second. Wait, you've been lying for how long? 80
Yeah.
years? And I think, God, if they're lying about that, what else are they lying about? And then that's where the trigger goes, is thinking, okay, right, we need to question everything. And you should question everything, especially today, day and age.
Yeah.
Definitely today.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, Ali, do you think JFK would do it? Do you think the UFO? I mean, I think aliens would kind of break a lot of it open. I think there's going to be a lot of crossover information from other conspiracies that are out there with the UFOs. That's kind of my take on it.
I feel like we're more likely to get the truth about extraterrestrials before we had JFK, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, we're past the 25 years. They still don't want to tell us the truth about that,
I think it's any of the theories to where somebody can actually have like a physical, like, eyesight on like amount of money of like whatever's been corrupt or embezzlement or something like that. Because I think just in general, like the human population, whether they're getting any of that money or not, I think it still causes problems. And I think people freak out no matter what from any conspiracy theory that has like a massive dollar amount behind it.
Yeah.
Well, if it's got a dollar amount behind it and the UFO conspiracy is completely true when it comes to they are coming from a different planet and its technology, that's got the
Right.
most money behind it. If that's the truth of this, that has the most money behind it. And it's probably the most it is the most dangerous conspiracy for any of us to talk about, because they just want it to go away. If that's the case.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the case though.
I still think that they use it. I was gonna say, I sorry to cut you off, Nick, but I was gonna say I just think that they use the ufology conspiracy, the UFOs, is so easily manipulated for them. Like they can use that in so many other areas, like just covering our military tech, using national security to cover other secrets of coming out, like this 25-year stuff with JFK. It's just so helpful. And then I still think there's a lot of stigma that's involved. I think when you look at what happened with the Mexico aliens, that added more stigma, back onto the topic. And so a lot of people thinking, this is great. I know Neil deGrasse Tyson said, oh, they brought out the aliens. They laid it out there. This is kind of what I want. But I'm like, yeah, but we want to get more of the stigma off. So if it causes more people to recoil from the topic, that's not helping either. You know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
Like Nick said, he wants to open those aliens up. He wants to take a jaw off it and see what's inside. I agree. I agree.
Right.
Let's break them up. Let's saw one in half. Problem solved. There you go.
Yeah.
See aerogel pour out of them.
It's brutal. There's a few of them. Just saw one in half. There we go. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I've looked at some of the X-rays of those things, and I'm like, holy crap, they look really good. But then when I look at the bones that are backwards, I'm like, I don't get it.
I know.
And they say, well, it's an alien, though. It may have had one weird hand,
I mean, put it this way: if
I think
put it
this.
way-
Oh, sorry.
Sorry,
Nick,
sorry,
I was
sorry,
just
Ali.
gonna,
No,
I
go
was just
ahead.
gonna say, I think there's something to that, because I think behind these conspiracies, you get given a almost a what's the words I'm looking for? You get given the a little bit of a meal, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
But the real meal, that's on slow burner.
Appetizer.
That's cooking.
Yeah.
That's
Appetizer.
cooking up.
Good one.
Yeah,
Yeah. Appetizer.
yeah. You get given something, you're like, well, this is okay, but I'm not gonna finish it. You know, that the one that's in the oven. That's the beauty there. But that's gonna be cooking for a long time. Because with the Peru aliens that Jaime took to Mexico, there is a museum in Peru that has loads of those things, and they look completely different. And we haven't got, we've got some X-rays. Some of the X-rays of them look amazing, but yet we get to see what Jaime's got.
Yeah.
We don't get to see them, and that's what I'm interested in. Because I think some of these conspiracies, they've got some meat on them, even though there's some bad ones out there, some bad eggs. But
Well, yeah, I don't think you can have bad eggs. There wouldn't be any bad eggs if there weren't good ones. You know what I mean? There's a reason why the bad eggs come around. There's got to be some kind of truth there that you're able to prey upon and create. Like if you were gonna create a grift, I mean, you got to be able to create it off the back of some truth. Otherwise, no one's gonna believe any of it at all. You know, I agree. There has to be something. I mean, go ahead, Ali. Go ahead.
I would say my favorite bit with all of that was Ryan Graves' face when they brought them out.
Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, he wishes he never showed up there without a doubt. But I mean, Jaime Maussan is he's kind of a godfather for Mexico, at least for conspiracies. Who do we really feel is like a godfather
I'd love to
of
speak
conspiracy? Yeah. I'd talk to him. I don't speak Spanish, though. I don't know if he speaks English. Does he?
He does, yeah. He speaks English.
Oh, okay.
Pretty good, actually, yeah.
I'm going to shoot him an email, Ali. We're going to get him on here. But who do we think is the
Only
true...
if he opens it up.
Only if he does?
I saw in that thing in half live.
And we'll get him on here. And we'll get him on. But who do we think is the real godfather of conspiracy? Who is the main guy at the very top? Some people want to say David Icke. Some people will say Alex Jones. Some people will say John Lear. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But who's the main guy?
Well, the earliest one I can think of will be William or Bill Cooper.
Bill Cooper, yes.
Yeah, so this is A Pale of Two Horses, which came out, the book, I think it was early 90s, I think.
Yeah, Behold the Pale Horse, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
that
that's the book. Yeah. That's the first one I can think of, but I'm pretty sure if you look back, you'll find someone. I don't, on top of my head, I'm not too sure, but I'll say William Cooper. He's like the OG, I can imagine, in terms of conspiracies, like the modern day Alex Jones. We can put him in that category, even though they hated each other apparently.
Yeah,
I do think like one of the godfathers is David Icke, and David, I will say, thoughts to you and your family. His daughter's just passed away.
Oh man.
But he before that, do you remember the other day when Alex Jones went live with Andrew Tate and Elon Musk?
Yeah.
David Icke had an interesting tweet, and I think it was something along the lines of invite me on for the next one. You may not like what I'd have to say, Elon.
Wow.
So yeah, David Icke, he's an odd one because he was like this guy in a full tracksuit. I think it was in the late 70s or early 70s. I don't know. He went on a talk show, Terry Wogan over here in the UK, and he got absolutely destroyed. And then he went back on a few years later. Terry actually apologized to him because he was like, some of the stuff you've said has actually come to light, you know.
Pretty interesting, yeah. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, some of it's pretty interesting. But he went down the whole like people are camouflage. There are lizards in society, lizard people, and all that sort of stuff. And then he kind of like went away from it because I think he felt he had to go away from it. And so somebody, I can't remember what interview it was, but somebody's just like interviewing him. He's talking about the politics, and he's talking about the banks. He's talking about how corrupt the world, and he just went, "So David, what about those lizard people?" And he's like, he just like changed the subject. He doesn't want to talk about the lizard men anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can have too much of a good thing, huh? You know, he's not having fun.
Whereas
yeah.
Alex Jones will he'll just go with it, you know, and he'll stick.
Yeah,
If I said to Alex Jones, "What about the lizard people?" he would go off on, you know. I love Alan.
Well, see, what you have to understand is, Joe,
I
is
do
that
like Alex Jones.
they're going behind the scenes and they turn their hearts off for 5 minutes, and they're talking to the jesters and the aliens. This is what they're doing in the meetings at Google. God, that he's entertaining as all get out. What do you guys think about him being back on Twitter? Huh?
Brilliant,
Yeah.
absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, about time.
100%.
a little bit more of them. It's like you always want a little bit more, even though how outlandish he gets sometimes. But it's like, yeah, I need to hear more.
I mean, I was like a dedicated InfoWars back in the day. This is like 2009, 10, like the college days. And I remember no one would speak to me because I was a conspiracy theorist, and that's all I would talk about. So I've had experience in terms of pulling people away, you know, and making people awkward, making myself look awkward as well. But it came to a point, this is around about 2011, I was like, I can't keep watching Alex Jones every day. It came a bit too much. It was even souring my day, you know, because it's still conspiracy theories is all bad. There isn't a good conspiracy theory like that one that brings warmth to the heart. You know, there's always something bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's pretty negative for sure. Yeah,
it's very negative. Yeah, and that's what I noticed with people as well. You go down that echo chamber of everything's a conspiracy. Man, you just don't. This is why you can't get girlfriends. You don't have relationships because, you know, unless you find that exact same person, good luck. But yeah, man. Yeah, I'm going on a
She may
tangent.
kill you.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
yeah, he's a lot of fun to listen to, but I agree. From time to time, you do have to turn it off. He gets a lot of things right. He gets a lot of things wrong. It's kind of tough. I mean, I remember when he was talking just a few years ago about how, you know, South or North Korea, it's nuclear war is coming, and you know, and he was talking about the masks are coming back for everybody this year, and that kind of never happened, you know, and so it's rough. You're not always going to be right. I mean, I'm not saying he's got to be right, but he definitely has that persona from a lot of people. I agree. I think a lot of people consider him a godfather. And I guess what I mean, guys, by that question is not who really is first was to come out, but like who really carries the torch, you know, the most recognizable person. I think that kind of is where it stands. Yeah, I think for me, probably him. He's probably the main guy right now overall. What about Twitter? I mean, what else have you guys seen change? I mean, it's kind of the leader in free speech right now. What else have you seen change with Twitter since Elon took it over? Like, how do you feel about Twitter now?
I think there's more people that honestly are starting to use it.
Like coming back?
And I think just overall, like, just like a different generation that's coming onto it and following up behind all the other people as far as like conspiracy theorists and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a new generation of people that are going to carry the torch, you know? So that's what's interesting to see, like all these other random people that just keep popping up out of nowhere. And it's like, huh?
Yeah. Ali, what do you think? What have you felt has changed?
I think it's exciting. I think the platform could go like, could basically go like we could at some point move over from YouTube to Twitter.
Yeah.
Hence why my actual I don't put Alien Addicts anymore. I put the Twitter the Twitter whatever it's called.
I'll make sure to get your Twitter. I'll get your Twitter in the link in the description too.
Yeah. Fun fact about that. That's a target in the middle. Yeah. It's a target. Because somebody stole Alien Addict.
Justice. Nick, what do you think? What have you noticed about the Twitter world since Elon's kind of got on board?
Dude, I'm new to Twitter. Honestly,
you?
I have. Yeah, someone, I think it was the UFO chick. She said, "Look, if you want your latest updates with ufology,
You need to stick
go
on
on Twitter."
Yep.
And then I started Twitter. So I've been on for about 4 months. So I don't know what it was like.
I only followed him yesterday because I realized he was on Twitter.
Wait. Oh, so you are on now? I gotta follow you now.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. I'm on Twitter. Yeah, so I don't
Okay.
know like the ins and outs. I know it's been going for a long time, and honestly, I try to avoid the drama and all that. Yeah, that comes with the territory with anything now, really. Um,
Well, let me add
yeah,
this really
so
quick too, just so you know. If you get messages from girls that look very attractive, that's not real. Just so you know.
oh man, okay, well, I'm off Twitter then. I'm not interested. But yeah,
Your
I do get
subscription
those.
to my
Yeah.
OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah, just check for the blue tag. I think I'll be right. But yeah, I think what I've been hearing from people that's been on Twitter for a long time, or X as they call it. I like to call it Twitter. It's just X. It's just I don't know.
Yeah.
about it.
Me too. Me
So
too.
I still call it Twitter, yeah.
There's a symbolism behind it. I think that's just my conspiracy mind going off on one. But yeah, people say that it's good to have more free speech now onto a social media platform. I know it was very targeting a lot of people. Can you make money off Twitter? Can you actually? Is that such a thing?
I
Like,
don't know.
Yeah, I think
You
probably
can.
could.
I don't know
You can.
what the protocol is now, but I remember back when Twitter first started, I went to school with a kid who was like making hundreds of bucks like every couple of weeks just from videos and stuff like that, just from generalizing like tweets, just randomly tweeting, having followers. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not sure
that's
how it
crazy.
works. I mean, obviously you could have sponsors. I know some of those Twitter spaces that come up, they say, "Hey, this is a sponsored space," and they talk about it. I think some of it's kind of trolling the stuff they say, but from time to time, I'm sure that there are some sponsored sections on it. I don't know. I kind of wonder though, because when you look at YouTube overall, and Ali, Nick, you might agree with this. The difference in like ufology on YouTube and Twitter, it is very different. There's a stark difference. And so I think that even though you have that free speech over there, we can kind of say whatever we really wanted to say when we're talking about conspiracies. I don't know about merging with that ecosystem and how much I would really like that compared to what goes on over here. What do you guys think about that?
Do you think it's not appealing to the people that are into conspiracy theories? It's like it's a bit like YouTube used to be back in like 2008 and 9 and 10. You type in a conspiracy theory video and then you get another conspiracy theory video, and I think people don't quite like that. For instance, it's a bit like BitTube. BitTube is a great platform, but there's a lot of anti-Semitic stuff that's on there, and that's the stuff I can't stand really when you start bashing a certain religion. I'm a favor for all religions. You can do what you want, but that's what I find. I find a bit uncomfortable. So I understand your point of view when it comes to that. Yeah, it's not for everyone.
Well, it's not even just as much as that stuff. I mean, yeah, that stuff's rough in and of itself, but I think there's just so much more vitriol when you discuss the topic in that area. There's so much more vile venom that gets spewed around based off of people's opinions. I mean, it happens on YouTube. I mean, you look at the comment sections, it's bad, right? But I still think it's more in real time. Maybe if that makes sense what I mean, where comments a lot of the time people come back later and you might comment something back, but if you don't really read it, it doesn't really continue to spread as much. I don't know. Twitter's it's so fast and everything moves so quickly on it. And
incredibly, you can lose something so quick. If you're onto a UFO case on Twitter, don't sleep.
Yeah.
Because the next morning, it's spiraled.
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean, I've thought about doing Twitter Spaces and kind of doing that, but I don't know. I just don't know if I'm really interested in doing that. Maybe I'll try it later on next year or something like that. Have you guys thought about that, Ali, for Alien Addict at all? Have you considered it?
Yeah. We were discussing it the other day. So at some point we are going to do my Twitter Spaces. We've got Lee is just his own little Twitter rebel. Dave's got Alien Addict USA, and which has just started, and I'm the OG Alien Addict, which I just really put them two do most of the tweeting. To be honest with you, I just tweet the shows out mainly. I'm not big on I I don't do a lot on Twitter. I do look at what people are saying on Twitter. I try not to get involved in the whole UFO Twitter, UFO X, because it can be a little bit hostile, and I don't want to kind of. I just want to let them go at it and then just comment on it, on the show, rather than actually get involved. Every now and again, I'll,
So
dip a toe
so
in.
you want to drive by a fight on the street and just throw a Slurpee at him as you go by and keep on rolling. Hey man, I think you can do it there, man. I think there's a space for you, Ali, after all. Yeah, I mean, if it's something to where
Now Lee is the complete opposite. Lee'll take somebody out on Twitter straight away.
Lee wants to drive the car into the fight. That's what he wants to do. Yeah, I mean, French, you've been kind of getting back around Twitter and looking around. I mean, it's been a little while for you too. You're a lot like Nick. I mean, how do you feel? What are you noticing, dude?
Like you and Ali kind of described it, it is pretty hostile, and I do think it's quite coincidental that like Twitter used to be Twitter, right? It was a nice little bird with a nice blue background for the app, and then like X comes around, and it's just this X, and it's just like a black app icon, and it's like, okay,
That's
And then-
interesting. That's
and
interesting.
then like you said, when I reactivated my Twitter or created a new one, but that is one thing I noticed. I was like, man, it's pretty dark over here, because especially right off rip, I'm following all the UFO stuff. So that's really all my Twitter has. Like, I don't have anything that I used to follow from back in the day, nothing like that. No music,
Right.
no gaming, nothing. So it's like I get on Twitter and that's all I see. It's just like people just going at it and just all this random stuff. And it's like, wow, okay. I was like, what happened to the good old days? Back when you got on Twitter just to, look at some lewd photos or something, because it was the only uncensored platform that you could be subscribed to for free back in the day.
Right.
People say if you want to get some of the real juicy stuff, you need to go on Reddit. But I've heard Reddit is hostile as hell.
Oh, it's
Reddit's a
bad.
pretty
Oh,
good
it's
one,
bad.
yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't look on it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's where when they kick out. You ever played Grand Theft Auto 5, and if you ever played against like cheaters in your game and they kicks them to their own game with a dunce hat so the cheaters can't play with them? All the people that got banned on Twitter, they all go to Reddit
On
now.
Reddit.
It's they're big
Yeah.
fighting
Oh,
over
right.
there. It's a wild world over there, man. I mean, those people, God bless them, but oh my God, they'll
And
try to
there
take you
is
down.
a category for everything on Reddit.
Yeah.
And in every category that you can think of, there are more people that you could ever think would ever be there in that category. So pick a random category, a topic, go to Reddit, you'll find it, and you'll find just thousands and thousands of people talking about it, or questions or answers. Because like anything gaming or like PC, like if I have like questions, like if something's wrong or something, I always go to Reddit and look it up, and I'll find my answer within like 10-15 seconds. I'm like, man, this is crazy.
Well,
Like
maybe
it's useful in that aspect, but
Maybe I got to go to the places you go then, because ufology and everything, man. It's rough over there. Well, how about we've been going kind of dark with Twitter? What about this? Our favorite conspiracy theory, either Hollywood movie or documentary. What's everybody's favorite? We'll start with Nick.
Ooh, I like the documentary personally. I think you get more in depth because with the films, it's like, for instance, like serial killer films, like on Netflix and stuff like that, is always not true. There's always something like me and the missus know pretty much everything about Jeffrey Dahmer, the serial killer. And it's quite scary, really, how much we know about it, really. And you start like quoting things from the program before it's actually quoted, so that's quite scary.
Whispering in each of his ear.
Yeah. So there's a lot of misinformation that comes with it. Now, Jeremy from Alien Scientist, he recommended a documentary from the 70s. Is to do with MK Ultra, the mind control experiments that the CIA was doing, and that it's so true in depth. Now, there was another documentary that me and the missus watched about the AIDS virus. There's some sketchy things about that, of where it actually came from, and it's more like it was actually engineered in a lab and then spread on purpose, because there was very public sort of, I can't really remember on top of my head, but there was part of the CIA was going around actually spraying biological weapons on, like, for instance, Operation Sea Spray. If you Google that, Operation Sea Spray, to see what they were doing on San Francisco, they literally put biological weapons on the public to test it out. So yeah, it's that's for like public knowledge as well. So there's a lot of scary things that come with it.
You guys are probably too young to remember this, but I can remember speaking about fear mongering in the 80s, watching what used to be adverts were amazing in the 80s, by the way, and early 90s as well. But I can still remember this advert, and I didn't understand it at the time, but it scared the living shit out of me. And it was an advert telling you to be aware of HIV, AIDS.
Oh wow, yeah.
And it you can probably still find it on YouTube or somewhere. And it was a gravestone and someone banging in HIV into this gravestone, like chiseling it in with a chisel.
Yeah.
And it had this like weird bassy like hum to the like ambient sound in the background.
Right.
It was terrifying, and I didn't really understand it at the time. And I'm like, I knew it was something that they were putting out to the NHS in the UK. I understood that much, but I didn't understand about the virus or anything like that. But it was scary. I can remember that.
Wow. Frenchie, what about you?
As far as like conspiracy videos or movies or stuff like that, I don't think I've ever really watched any or seen any.
Well, you've seen like National Treasure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Nicolas Cage. I wouldn't put that as in like a conspiracy movie or documentary, but yeah, that is a good one.
No, I mean, I think it can be fun too. I mean, Disney's they got some fun stuff like that. I mean, that's
I'll
for
tell
me.
you this
Yeah.
right now. I mean, and the topic of like UFOs and aliens and stuff, War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise.
Okay.
I don't care what anybody says. That's like my favorite alien movie, and it still gives me anxiety.
Yes, French.
Every time I watch it. I have the movie poster out in my living room that I got from when I was like, I don't know, I think it was like 7th or 8th grade.
That is an amazing film. I don't get people that shit on it.
Dude, it gets every time it gives me anxiety. I'm just like, what if that actually happened? Like, what the hell would I do?
The
like,
noise them things make. That
doesn't matter how many times I watch it, I'm still on
Yeah.
my couch. Like, I got like a blanket. I'm just sitting here with my cat. I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like that War of the Worlds.
Is that the Steven Spielberg
Yeah.
movie?
Yeah.
You definitely recommend it, yeah?
Yeah, it's got Tom
for
Cruise,
sure.
Dakota
Yeah.
Fanning in it.
It's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can't remember
Have you seen the I think it's on Disney actually. Have you seen the War of the Worlds one on Disney where so spoiler alert, it's a TV series. It's really good. And these kind of like ships come down. But what comes out of the ships? Have you seen Boston Dynamic, the
Yeah.
company?
Yeah, for sure.
Is these dog robots.
Oh, like Black Mirror, an episode like
Yeah,
that.
they are a little bit similar to that, and they are going around and they're killing everybody. And I'm not going to say any more, but it's a brilliant TV series. It's about, I think it's about two seasons. I think it's on Disney. I think.
I'll have
Right.
to watch it.
Yeah, I mean,
So
for
good twist.
yeah, I'll have to check it out. I mean, for me, if I'm looking for fun, I mean, I love the National Treasure movies, both of them with Nicolas Cage. I mean, they're fun. But if I'm looking for just overall really high quality, well done, I mean, Signs is classic, man.
Oh,
Signs is so good. I think that's M. Night Shyamalan's best movie. Mel Gibson kills it in that movie. A great fake video, Ali. I know, Ali, you love that part where the alien steps
love
out.
it.
It's
Absolutely love
really good, man.
It's probably one of the greatest alien scenes in a movie. And without going to H.I. Geiger's Alien because that's the greatest, but as an extraterrestrial gray creature, that's probably the best, most shocking reveal in any film.
Yeah, it's good.
My sister Stephanie used to scare me with the noise that the aliens used to make, that little like clicking noise kind of. And I remember watching that when I was like just a little kid, and I went upstairs and she would come up the stairs and lights are off and make that like clicking noise. I'm like, oh, she would scare the absolute piss out of me.
It got a lot of flack, Signs. I quite like Signs when
Did it
came out.
really? Did it?
Yeah. I don't know if it was me, but yeah, they said it was boring. It's okay. Yeah, it's sluggish. It's slow, but
He
it
said
had
sluggish and slow,
atmosphere and
and
depth.
then he lagged right there when he said sluggish and slow.
Yeah, his camera still froze for me.
Oh, yeah, your camera's froze, Nick. No,
Thanks to Nick.
Oh, is he there?
Oh, there we go.
Okay, I think he's coming back.
Okay.
Okay, you're
He's
back
back.
now, Nick. Are you there? Can you see us now?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
can
But
you
go
hear
ahead.
me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're good.
Yeah.
Just don't
Yeah, I
say
was just
sluggish and slow again, whatever you do.
Okay. All right. So CIA is doing it. Yeah. That's what happened. I clearly remember reviews saying, "Oh, it's slow and sluggish, and it takes its time," but it had depth and it had feel to it, which I appreciate. It's been a long time since I saw the movie.
Yeah. I felt that way about The Village movie he did. I didn't like that as much as I thought that I would. I thought that one was
Forgot
kind of a
about that one.
letdown. Yeah.
Me and my wife watched The Village a couple of months ago, I think. Again.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because I thought I remembered the film and I thought this wasn't a great movie, but it was interesting for some reason. And I watched it again. It's not a great movie, but it's still interesting.
It
the
is.
The whole concept of it.
Absolutely.
It reminds me of like a lot of the real world. Don't go out there. Don't do this because if you do that, that's gonna get you. This is gonna get you. Is it though? Or are we absolutely fine? No, it's a great concept.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fire in the Sky is another good one too.
Oh my God, Fire in the Sky. Yeah.
Fire in the Sky was absolutely so well done.
That one scared me too.
Oh yeah. Dude, who wasn't
well-
scared when he's on the table screaming? God, that was the most unnerving scene. Like,
Cased in that membrane, just
Oh
like
my
floating
God.
around, choking. and it's
oh
like,
my God, dude.
So we
What about
had Steve. What's his name now? We had the young guy, the youngest member of the team of Fire in the Sky live on Alien Addict, and he was a little bit pissed because they changed his name in the film, and we also had a few weeks later we had Mike on. Mike Rogers.
Oh wow.
Mike's been on the show, I think, 3 times. He did a show with us about the Phoenix Lights as well because he was there. But he did say that the whole film of Fire in the Sky was nothing like what we saw. That was all just.
Oh, you mean Travis's experience was nothing like the film? Is what you're saying?
Yeah, I've not
Yeah.
spoke to Travis. I'd love to get Travis on. but
Oh yeah, that'd be
was-
good.
when we spoke, I want to get Travis because I'm friends with Steve. I've spoke to a couple of times. We had him on the show. Mike, I message him back and forth every now and again, and he's been on the show a few times. I think 3 times now. And he's a top bloke. He's Mike, real nice bloke. I expected both Mike and because do you remember when the whole thing was going around about it being Gentry Tower?
Yeah, and that Travis had stayed in the tower for the 5 days, and yeah, Scott
Yep.
Brown did a really good breakdown with
Yeah,
Rich
he
about that.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Scott Brown, friend Ryan Gordon. We had him on as well before Mike and Steve. And
Yeah, for anybody who doesn't know, Ryan Gordon was big in the Anjali situation, if you remember him
Yes,
from
he was,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
But I expected almost expected Mike and especially Steve to throw the story just to kind of like almost come clean. I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be amazing. These guys are going to come clean on the show and say it was all bullshit.
Wow, yeah.
But they honestly, they stick by it into this very day. I was saying this to Lee the other day. I said, if those boys didn't see something, if Travis is lying about this, they would have every opportunity to make more money right now revealing the lie.
It'd be huge. Yeah, it'd be huge.
It would be massive, but none of them have. Why is that? And they don't like each other. Mike doesn't like Travis. Steve doesn't like Mike. I don't think Steve really likes Travis either. None of them like each other.
Yeah, from the best of my knowledge, I think it was Travis was saying it was based off money, right? I mean, there was some kind of split up with cash that didn't go people's way,
No,
and
see, the money bit did get brought. Both of them brought the money into it. That Travis got all the money.
Yeah. Well, he got a lot of the fame too. Most of the fame.
None of them. That's what I mean. He got all the fame. He got all the money. They have every opportunity to just shut it down, and they don't.
They got to prove it though, right? I mean, I don't know how. I know we're kind of going on a little bit of a tangent here, but I mean, how would they prove? How would he prove, Ali, that that he stayed in that tower? I mean, how would you get that at this point?
Well, you couldn't. You'd have to get Mike. You'd have to get. You'd have to get Travis to admit it. It's the only way.
Yeah, but
even
I mean,
even if they all did come out and say it never happened, he could say they're lying, but them saying it never happened would be a big deal.
Yeah, I think it would have caught more fire, I guess, as a pun with this whole thing. Firing this guy would have caught, when that story originally went around that Mike was saying, no, it's fake, and Ryan was involved and everything that was going on with that. It never really blew up wide, right? I mean, Rogan still had Travis on. I think it was after, and Travis told the story of what went on. And I think Rogan believes that story, no? I think he does.
Yeah.
Sound like he does.
So I don't know if maybe they were testing the waters, Ali. Maybe Mike was testing the waters with all that at the start, and it just didn't get the traction where they felt like it was enough to risk ruining their reputation if they somehow were proven wrong that it was fake. And I don't know. It's tough to, maybe that's easier said than done,
I don't know. I mean, just I was convinced for quite some times that they'd faked it until I spoke to them too. And just even speaking to them after the show, you speak about half an hour after to a guest up, half an hour before. Just the conversation is just like, it just seems like these guys are convinced that happened. That's what they saw.
Yeah.
So, and I was convinced because I'd spoken, I had conversations back and forth with Ryan Gordon. Like, he'd been on the show a few times. We'd messaged back and forth. We'd rang each other a few times. We'd spoken about the case. And I was convinced that this, my favorite UFO story of all time was just rubbish. But after interviewing them, I'm back in the game,
Yeah, I get it. Well, yeah, Travis, for a little while, he definitely had a kind of a big target on his back. I mean, there's a lot of people that have targets on their back in conspiracy land right now, but who has the largest right now? Who's got the biggest target on their back out of everybody?
I'm going to say, at the moment, probably Tucker Carlson, because he's done like 360 switch. I mean, he's got millions of views on Twitter, his videos. I mean, to interview Alex Jones and to go into the topics that they went into and playing back videos saying, okay, Alex, you actually were on the money on some predictions that you made, I would say him.
I like
Tucker
that.
Carlson.
Yeah.
I'll say at this present time. Yeah. So, I mean, fair play to him. I mean, he's getting millions of views. I mean, on the videos he brings up. I mean, who wouldn't want to listen to Alex Jones?
Without a doubt. Frenchie, who do you think out of everybody that's out there? You think it's Alex? Mr. Jones?
I want to say yeah, but like part of me feels like honestly like Grush would be like a big one, honestly.
He does, without a doubt. What have
I
you
think-
seen that really makes you think that right now?
Just everything that's been going on. I think a lot of stuff is leaning on him from everybody that's, you know, in this topic and conspiracy theorists and stuff. I think it's another one of those. It's like leaning on you. If you fall through, then it's gonna really piss a lot of people off again.
Right. Well, he's done a good job of that. Yeah, go ahead, Ollie. I'm sorry.
No, just to go on what French just said there, like with David Grush, I get really frustrated with a lot of the commentators on David Grush, even myself, because people are forgetting one thing. He's repeating what somebody else has told him.
Right.
But yet everybody wants to try and debunk what he's telling them. But he's only telling you what somebody else has told him. I think David Grush is 100% for legit. I think somebody's told him this. And I think they've probably told him a reason why he should come forward with this and why he's the person to do it. He's trusted that. He's had a lot of respect for these people and he's gone with it. He's been promised things. Now, the people behind it,
Yeah.
there's the thing.
Right.
Whoever's in his ear, you know, what's the reason behind that?
Because the reason he said he retired, and he said before that whether or not he was forced to, otherwise he was fired from his job. But no, he retired himself. So yes, I don't know about Grosh, man. I don't know. I find him a bit odd, a bit weird. I mean that in the nicest way possible. I just, until you can bring up evidence, these are stories we've heard all before, man.
That's to tell you in a skiff, mate.
Well, you know what's interesting, guys, and I haven't heard anyone say this yet except Grush. It is kind of interesting to me with how young he is. If he really was to risk it, he's not even 40 yet. He's barely 36 years old. That's pretty young to come out and put your whole reputation on the line, right?
His career would have only just taken off. I mean,
Very interesting.
yeah. Where could have that career taken him? And he's even said this has ruined like the chances of going forward with what he was doing. But maybe there are people out there that will literally do anything for their country. Maybe he does think it's important what he's doing.
I think he does. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say he seems like he does. I mean, he doesn't.
He
give
seems
off
like a
lot of,
nice guy. I'd like to go to a barbecue with him. You know,
Yeah.
have a beer with the lad. He's a big guy.
He's big.
He is a big guy. I thought Dave was a big guy, but I think Grush would probably tower over Dave, height-wise, anyway.
Right.
He's tall.
Yeah.
He's well tall.
Yeah, I'm well short.
I'm normal size, but like the boys say, you know, they keep saying I've got small hands. I'm
Show us the
thinking,
hands. Come on.
These are perfectly normal hands. But I do like David Grush. As much as people like to hate on him, I think he seems like a likable guy.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that like it just seems like he's got a target on him.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem like the type to do a grift, does he? Like everybody keeps saying it's a grift.
I agree.
don't know
I
what
agree
that
with you,
type
Ollie.
is.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think my position hasn't changed in the simple fact, or in at least down the alley of, is he going to provide us with actual like hard evidence? I still don't think that's the case. But I think in the beginning, I thought he was more on the team of kind of pushing a bullshit story. I have shifted on that to where I think, if anything, he's just, I think what Rogan said is probably true. He's kind of a useful idiot kind of a guy. Like he's able to be manipulated, but that doesn't mean he's lying. That doesn't mean he's an accessory, but he doesn't know. maybe. I'm more in that camp now. I hope the guy's safe. I mean, I hope everybody's safe. I hope, we haven't talked about this on this channel, and I don't want to go down this road right now, to be honest, but I'll throw it out there. I hope Ashton Forbes doesn't, I hope he's safe, man.
Yeah, me too.
Everybody's people. People get things wrong, and people can be put in situations that they weren't ready for, or that they didn't know the full story. And I think that we ought to give them a little bit of space, but until at least we see something that's very malicious. And then, if you want to say, hey, fuck you or whatever, I mean, that's up to you. But yeah, Grush, my opinion on him has shifted, as far as I don't think he's a part of a grift situation that he's knowing of.
No, but there must, unless it's so concrete, the people that have told him this, he has just got absolute faith in these people. He must ask himself the question, is it possible that what I've been told is lies?
Oh, of course he is. He seems smart.
He's not seen it himself. But I suppose because I mean, what does he say? He spoke to 40 plus people interviewed 40 plus people about this. That's why I can't wrap my head around either. It's like how this all happens. This job just to go out and interview people about, what they know, what they've seen, and then assess the whole situation. And then who was it? Him that just decided, well, I've done that now. Well, you know what? I'm just going to tell people about this because it's from my country. Or somebody else said you should go public with this. Did you see the picture with was it George Knapp, David Grush, and
Jay Stratton and Travis Taylor at that convention at the table? Yeah, Corbell's there too, I think. Corbell.
Yeah, he was taking the picture.
Oh, was he? Okay.
I'm just guessing there.
He could be. Hey man, you fooled me, bro. You fooled me. But yeah, I've seen the picture for sure. Yeah. Who knows? Who knows what they were talking about at that meal? I mean, they could have just been talking about Star Trek. That was the whole point. Which, that's the one weird thing, is I wish Grush would just lean into and maybe just be more truthful about his interest in the topic in the past. I mean, dude, there's no way you're going to tell me you're not into UFOs, but you watch Star Trek growing up. Come on, man. Like why damage your credibility even 1% by trying to bend that truth? Just come out with it. It's okay. That's not going to change anybody's mind. Everybody likes UFOs. I don't know anybody that at least doesn't like to talk about it. How many times have you guys had a conversation with someone that you have never really looked into it, but you kind of start talking about it, and boy, they start asking questions. They wonder what. Oh yeah.
They always say, "I've seen X-Files."
Correct. Yeah. So I don't know why he's so afraid of that. Like, I mean, they've already tried to label him as a crazy person, which I thought was horrible. I mean, PTSD is PTSD. If he's not credible to talk after having war PTSD, dude, more than half of our fucking military isn't. Right. Then, like, give me a break. Come on, like, you have to.
And the autism thing I don't get either, because he's the perfect guy. He's the perfect guy because he's so analytical and everything,
Yeah.
The perfect guy, high functioning.
Well, yeah. Plus, he wouldn't have been put in that position in his job if he couldn't have done it. I mean, you go through a lot of checks and balances with stuff like that. I don't think they're just pulling anybody off the street. So, yeah, it's a tough deal. But I mean, when we say target on the back, I mean, should we really worry about anyone being killed anymore nowadays who actually doesn't have hard evidence, hard proof? I feel like you only have people like Snowden, brought out tons of data, and that's why he's gone now. And you have, Julian Assange, he's got issues. He's had data. It's always the people with data that end up getting thrown away or killed. I just feel like if you're just speaking nowadays, they can screw with you, but I don't think it's worth the drama and the attention that killing you would cause. Am I crazy on that, or what do you guys think?
No, because what they did, that would prove that there is something serious there, and it would cause a bunch of panic. Without like the hard actual evidence, and then somebody just ends up dead or goes missing, that raises a lot of questions and eyebrows and suspicion at that point.
Yeah, there was the MI6 agent who was found dead in his suitcase in his
yeah.
Oh
bathroom,
yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot
uh,
about that.
and they determined that he topped himself and then put himself in the suitcase. I mean, he was linked to MI6. If you do a bit of digging, you will find whistleblowers that do end up, you know, I mean, with the MH 370, you know, there were 20 scientists, Chinese scientists that had patents that was worth billions. It was, I can't remember the specific technology that were there, but you know, and it was the same with 9/11 as well. You know, there were scientists on that plane as well that hit something. So yeah, if you do a bit of digging, you'll see these whistleblowers do pop up, and they do end up, you know, in a
Right.
suitcase for some odd reason, you know, or being shot on the back end of the head twice, you know, and saying it's suicide. It's
Do any of
yeah,
you
strange
boys
stuff.
remember that UFO researcher that passed away? And he had the report was he had all sorts of stuff coming out of his mouth, like it's like black, like
Like he was poisoned.
Yeah, God, I can't
Oh
think of the
no, you're
name
you
right
talking about
now.
remember
Max
it?
Spear. You're talking about Max Spear.
Maybe, yeah. He rang his mum before and said, "I won't." Just to let you know, I would never like do
Yeah, I
anything
can't
like
remember.
this. This has never. Nobody's ever really like looked into this. I can remember it being on. This was years ago. This was absolutely like this. I
This is
think this
Max
was
Spear.
before.
Max Spear. I met the guy and his missus back in conferences years ago.
You
I
did.
actually had to smoke.
Wow.
Yeah, actually had to smoke with him. Yeah,
What was
I've
he
had
looking
an
into?
um between you and me,
Well, on the entire internet.
yeah, and the internet. Me and you in the post box, put it that way. I sense he was probably a bit of a drug addict. That's my personal opinion. I actually ended up having an argument with someone in a restaurant with a conspiracy theorist guy who believes that Max Spear was part of the Nazi government and he was a wizard. And yeah, it gets like crazy. In fact, the last interview of Max Spear, and I think this is the guy what you're talking about, Ollie. You see him drugged up off his tits on this interview, and he's and his bloody girlfriend Sarah R. Adams. I mean, she's talking about bloody galactic federations and med beds, and Stephen Cambion talks about it. I met her as well. She's fucking loony. She thinks she's like a sort of wizard, and that's just how batshit crazy it goes. But yeah, I just think he's a drug addict personally, and I think he died in Poland. And
Yeah, I know it was
unfortunately,
overseas.
yeah, it was overseas. But unfortunately, the conspiracy theory community absolutely go wild with anything they can back up at all. You know, no one's dug into the coroner report or anything like that. They just go on with these loony conspiracy theories. I mean, there's a researcher I'm looking into for years. His name's Rick Clay, and he ended up taking his own life back in 2008. And people saying, "Oh, the Illuminati killed him. Trust me, it's Illuminati." And I've even spoken to his brother and his family members. Says, "No, he actually was going through a really hard time, and he did top himself." But the conspiracy people will always keep on saying, "Nope, nope, it's Illuminati." It's like, dude, like you haven't done any research at all into this guy, you know. But people just run with it. They really run with it, and it's quite damaging. You know, it's ill-founded, in my
The
opinion.
families, yeah.
Yeah, this is it. But yeah, I think Max Spear, that's the guy you're talking about. The black goo, which you can actually buy on eBay, by the way, if you do a bit of research.
No, I don't want to be on that list. I'm on enough of them already, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep me. I'm in a data bank. Yeah, no, without a doubt. I mean, you know, they'll do whatever it seems like to cover things up, especially hard evidence at that point. But I mean, what do we think about AI? I mean, is AI essentially like the best cover-up device at this point for conspiracies, or would it end up kind of down the road? Are we going to see it as the key to really unlock most of the doors of truth behind a lot of this? How do you think it'll be used?
I think there's two aspects to this. Like I think for looking at UFO footage down the line, it's going to be It's gonna be terrible because we won't know. We won't really. I think as time goes on, we will not have a clue what we're looking at. It will be that good. You'll be. It will even put the film grade, everything. You know, we could get that. Somebody else could go. Oh well, like do you remember that Logan Paul's
Yeah,
necklace button cam? Yeah, I've got it. Here it is.
yeah.
All done in AI. I think it's going to be for that. It's going to be really bad. I think when it comes to looking for planets with the Goldilocks zone, it's going to be brilliant. I think when you've got, because it takes quite a long time for them to do that. I've watched a couple of documentaries on it, and the process of finding these planets, where they've got they find the little blink, and they know it's the blink because they see the sun, and they see the it kind of it the computer calculates that it dims by an absolute fraction. They know that's something going past the
It's
star.
incredible, isn't it? Yeah, it's incredible.
Crazy, but
yeah,
if you get AI in charge of that, how quickly can that find something? Then how quickly can that find something that may have a moon that's just like ours, a planet that's the same sort of size as ours, it's in pretty much the same vicinity as ours?
yeah. Well, I wonder about this. I mean, what if our AI is able to get so powerful and it's able to pick up on other signals to where, what if other species, maybe not even in our galaxy, maybe outside of our galaxy, maybe they have something like satellites. And what if we hack into their satellites and we see their images of what their planet's going on? Wonder if that's how we end up seeing up close, maybe really good footage of some other civilization somewhere else, is we get on these bands and they figure it out. What do you think about that, Nick? Oh, go ahead, Ollie.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Or one of you.
Go ahead, Ollie.
No, I was just going to quickly say, was it you or Hidden last night that brought up the little UFO disc thing that was on the drone that flew past?
Oh, that was hidden.
Yeah, because we had the conversation there about, what if they are like drones coming from somewhere else? AI drones, yeah.
Right.
Sorry, go on, Nick.
Yeah, no, you made a good point, because why would aliens come here? Because we keep shooting them down anyway and chasing them and trying to, take them out of the sky. They could probably, so they should say, okay, let's just send these probes over to see what's actually going on, which makes more sense, in my opinion. Yeah, so interesting concept. It was amazing video that we put up yesterday with that.
I'm happy, man. We had fun. I had fun, man. Going through all that footage,
Yeah.
that was incredible. To me, it was for sure.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it's a
We
fun
should do that
episode. It was
again.
something different. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, I forgot my train of thought then. I was going to say, but no, I'll move on to another person.
What do you think about it, French? Like, where do you see AI and potentially, I mean, getting disclosure, I guess, is how that would end up working. But what do you think about it just morphing into a sense to where it could tap into other technologies and other galaxies, or even in our own galaxy, and show us what's going on? Maybe they have imagery the same way we do, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would have to believe so, because we talked about this on one of our episodes, and like Ali said, like in the beginning of it, it's like it's going to get to a point in an aspect of like you can't really tell what's actually real and what's not, and that's almost like damaging. But as far as like imagery and everything like that, like if it has some sort of like monitoring or something to like stop it from doing what it's not supposed to and keep it within the field of what it's supposed to do, like find other satellites and imagery and scan them and tap into those, like, yeah, that's definitely like a perfect possibility to see what's actually out there beyond what we're able to. And like what you guys were talking about with like sending drones in and stuff like that, like, yeah, it absolutely makes sense too if they would do that and use their own AI. Because I mean, how often do we send our own people up into space anymore? Like we don't. It's usually just like satellites and
True.
stuff like that, because it's just more practical.
With AI, do you think it's going to come to a point where it can actually think for itself to become?
I think it
that
already does.
intelligent?
Yeah, I agree.
I know, I understand that concept now, but almost like it's almost like human, isn't it? In a sort of way that's just more advanced.
Well, it
human,
does,
to be
Nick. I mean,
fair.
they know that they have AI that's already figured out our physics that we've already figured out formulas and everything on its own. So yeah, I mean, it
Yeah.
definitely is thinking on its own for sure.
Yeah, it's just where it's going to go from there to the point
Right.
where cracking gravity. I think anti-gravity was one thing I saw on Twitter. Where is the point? Where's the stop line? Who's taking control of this? And it's come to the point where AI is going to get so bloody advanced, it's going to outsmart humans, and that is where it's going to go. Okay, we need to rethink this. But
Yeah.
I think what like French said is like, is there like a pause button? Like it's like the stop button for this, because it might outprogram the stop button. You know, I'm thinking, you know,
Right.
it's scary because if it's all linked to satellites and stuff, I think there's a bloody disaster waiting to happen, guys. That's
I agree. I agree. I don't think we're going to get a Terminator a moment where it's going to be like Skynet and it's just going to try and wipe us out. I think it'll use us 100%. I think it'll if it's intelligent, that's what it'll do. It'll use us. I don't think it'll just get rid of us. I think if anything, you're going to get a future that's like cyberpunk, or that's like for the old school guys in the chat, girls, Blade Runner.
I was just gonna say
Oh
that.
yeah.
That's
I
what
knew
you're
you were
gonna
gonna
get.
say that.
That's what you're gonna get. That's the kind of future. The you look at society now, and you look at all the trends and the crazy stuff the kids are doing today. You know, kids can't make their mind up what.
Oh, you mean
What they
eating
are,
Tide
what-
Pods is crazy? What do you mean?
Yeah, I bet they taste great. Those are weird things.
Now, they taste great.
I have eaten a small one of those.
Oh my God, Ollie. No, you have not.
Seriously, yes, yes. When I went to Thailand, I've eaten. I'm assuming it's one of those because it looked like a woodlouse and it was about that big. And there
Oh
was
my
a
God.
bowl of them, and they tasted absolutely out of this world. Honestly, they're amazing. With some chili, beautiful.
It wasn't weird when you were farting bubbles. That was.
Are we talking about the same thing? Tide Pods and like woodlouse little things?
No, the
No.
Tide Pod where you do your laundry
Detergent.
with it. Detergent.
Oh, what am I thinking of?
I mean, how do you like your bleach? I like mine grape flavored. You know.
Tide Pod. I'm sure it's called a Tide Pod. Or something. Pod.
No,
Cephalopod?
like a big woodlouse.
No, not a bug. It's like a little package that you throw in the laundry and it washes.
Oh
It has
no,
soap.
not eating
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
No,
okay.
no.
Maybe that's an American thing. Shit, I don't know.
I
Maybe it
guess
is.
so.
But yeah, I think like if you look at society today, I think the whole Elon's what's it called?
Neuralink.
Oh,
isn't it?
Neuralink.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Neuralink.
Yeah.
That's just the start. People think that won't be like that. People go, "Oh, I'll never do that." No, I do that. You'll get me doing that. What if everybody's doing it?
Oh,
What
I
if
would do it
everybody-
instantly. Yeah,
What
instantly
if
if it was
everybody's
safe.
doing it and you are seeing that they are like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna have a game of this, or I'm just gonna do, I'm gonna learn kung fu.
I don't know if I'd do it right away, but
I definitely wouldn't.
didn't they do like a test on like a pig or something, and they like control it to make it feel like it was hungry and it would eat, and then they would like make it feel like it wasn't hungry and it would instantly stop eating and like go about its business, and then like 5 seconds later be like, you're a hungry pig again, and it would go and eat.
Oh my God.
Ultimate mind control. That is
I
scary.
don't
Ugh.
get Elon. I don't get him. I love him. I don't get him. He's either the savior or he's the antichrist. Because he's
It's weird to
that
say
like
that. So many people have been saying that lately.
yeah. I look at Elon and I'm like, just I like to listen to the guy. I like to watch him. I think he's inspirational. But then when he speaks about how much the world needs to be careful of AI, but you're on about putting chips in people's heads. Like I'm like, I can't work this guy out. But now he's kind of like saying, well, I've learned that we need to we kind of need to side with it, otherwise we're done.
Yeah, I wonder if it's already out of control and we just don't even know, what's going on really at Apple, what's going on at Google. God, it's almost impossible to really know what they're doing. It's moving
Yeah.
fast, though. It's moving fast. It's going to be incredible to see where it's at in 10 years. It's scary to think about it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I mean, as far as
Yeah.
like generating that it does and everything, like, because I think I talked about it last time when Matt and I talked about it, was like even for like our graphics cards and stuff, they're using
Yeah.
AI to do lighting now, and
I
it's
know.
like the video that I watched, 'cause I think it was for like the Gamescom or something, or a conference, it might have been like E3 or something, but the dude from Nvidia was talking about it, and that was like absolute rocket science to me. I had no idea what the hell he was talking about, but I was like so intrigued, and like the samples that they put up and showed in the videos of like how AI does its own lighting and everything now, it's like, whoa,
Yeah.
that's super crazy just in itself. And that's
You
just
could
like
just
essentially the first big step.
Yeah. Could you just imagine what AI can do with creating video games? I mean, look at GTA, the new game that's coming out. How long
Yeah.
is it since the last one came out? Was it
13
over 10 years?
Yeah,
Yeah,
10 years,
13.
yeah.
Something like that. I reckon AI can actually smash that out. The whole landscape and everything, probably put all the people in there and in great detail and cut that time in half.
It's a good point. I mean, they might be using it for that right now,
Most
honestly.
probably.
I'm just trying to
Yeah.
find it. I mean, I know it's like talking about conspiracies, but while you're on gaming, I've forgotten the name of the game. It's something Fire. But do you know the Hello Games, the creators that did No Man's Sky with the whole galaxy?
Yeah, we just watched that
They're-
trailer this morning. Yeah.
That is an entire planet, the scale of Earth that is AI generated.
Yeah, it's called like
Insane,
Light No
isn't it?
Fire. I think it's called like Light No Fire. Yeah.
I know Fire, yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's
something
where
like
it's where
that,
it's
yeah.
going. It looks incredible, but I mean, that's going to be procedurally generated at Earth. Like that everybody's going to be playing on, and
Yeah.
everybody's going to be building on it, but it's still procedural. So everybody's getting their own procedurally generated world.
And it's
I mean-
available right now.
There you go. That's the reveal. Big reveal there.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, man. The more and more we see these procedurally generated worlds with AI, the more and more it's just going to push the idea and conspiracy. I think still conspiracy, a simulated world. It's just it's going to continue to intensify that. It has for me. I don't know. Like I used to be more and more hardcore that it was got to be aliens from somewhere else, that they at least have to have a part in it. I don't know as much anymore how much that has to be a thing. I think the AI cracking gravity and being its own thing or coming back in time is, God, it's so crazy, guys. This is what I mean when I say ufology has never been more crazy to me, is that time machines, this stuff is looking like it's very possible.
Yep.
And we
Yeah.
laughed at this stuff 5 years ago, not even 20 years ago, 5 years ago. And it's incredible to see just how quickly it's progressing. But maybe that's because AI is progressing at a fast pace like that too. I don't know. Everything seems to be speeding up though, right?
Well, when you talk about like time, and do you remember the old concept of the alien grey that said, well, we're doing a lot of typing now. We're looking at computer screens. At some point, this it's either going to get too hot or it's going to get too cold. And we might need some sort of protection for us skin. They said that the reason why aliens had 4 fingers is because at some point we're going to lose the little finger because we don't need it, we don't use it. As eyes will become big, black, because we're always looking at screens. And I wonder about the whole time thing, if it is us from the future. But what would be the point in it? What are they trying to do? Is it just like is it basically like a history lesson to them? Because
Could be.
when you talk about you can't change time. Well, you can, but it has
Consequences.
It has consequences. We know that we know this because that if you did affect something, like if you went back and you killed Hitler, you would probably kill a load of other people as well. It would be catastrophic. It would be I can't say catastrophic.
Catastrophic disclosure. Yeah. No, you're right. But I still think, Ali, it's even more minute than that. I mean, killing Hitler would be one thing, and that would make a great thing. But how do you not know that just one little thing, like one person gets, God forbid, aborted and killed and problems like that stops even AI from being able to create itself. And maybe, the AI causes a car accident that doesn't let that happen. It's a smaller thing that has even bigger output of a butterfly effect, essentially, is what we're saying. It seems like it'd be so risky. You don't even know. It could be the tiniest thing could screw it up to go back in time. It's risky.
What makes me think it could be time as well is, like, take Men in Black, for instance. You know that cat that's got that entire galaxy on its necklace? And I always wonder about scale when it comes to aliens, because we're finding planets that are absolutely huge. Huge. We know that if there was life on those planets, those creatures would be, is it the bigger the planet, the creature would be small, or it would be bigger? I can't remember. It's something to do with the
I don't
gravity
know.
anyway. But them being the same scale as us is probably highly unlikely. And you've got these little gray men. I'd say if they're aliens, they're probably from Mars. If they are aliens, they're probably from Mars because of the scale of them. It's a similar sized planet to us, and it's within what we know in our solar system. It's feeding off our sun. We don't know what the other planets are like. So I don't know if aliens would, let alone have 2 legs and 2 arms, 2 eyes. I think the possibilities of them being because a grey is completely different to us, but in so many respects, it's absolutely the same as us.
Very similar, yeah. Overall, yeah. It's just hard to know the intentions, It's hard to know intentions. What's in its head, That's the real question for me.
A Neuralink.
I mean, very well could be. Why not? I'll entertain that. It's probably much more advanced than the one we're gonna have, though.
What if every alien grey, each and every one of them, is a recreation of Elon Musk?
I mean, he's smart, but they got to get even smarter than him, right? We can't put him as the bar.
They're all Alex Jones.
I know. Well, we're like an hour and 45 minutes in, boys. It's felt like 10 minutes. However, so I want to get one more question in. Well, two more really quick. We'll try to go through quick on it.
Cool.
Was 2023 a successful year for the conspiracy or the conspiracy theorist?
Ooh. It depends what conspiracy theories you're looking into. I mean, for instance, the thing we went through past 3 years during the lockdown phase of 2020, I think out of all the conspiracies, that one has proved a lot right in terms of what's been going on now and the openness to actually discuss things and the lawsuits. And when the conspiracy theory is saying, look, there's something going wrong here, we need to question this. And the backlash that we received, like such as myself, was crazy. But now that the conspiracy theorists themselves are more or less right. And I guess the conspiracy as well, when it comes to that side. So yeah, that's a good question, man. That's a tricky one. That's a tricky one.
It's a good question. I would say the conspiracy side of it.
Oh, the cover up one, not the people trying to uncover the cover up. Yeah,
the cover up side of it. I think that's the one that's winning at the moment.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Frenchie, what do you think?
Yeah, I would agree. I would say lean more towards like what Ollie was saying, the conspiracy side and the cover up and stuff. But I think even the other side of it, though, the uncovering of it too. I mean, people are talking about even like JFK and stuff all over again and presenting new evidence that other people have been finding out and stuff like that. And so it's just a pretty level year in my opinion, but I'd say the conspiracy side.
I think we could change it in 2024, but the problem is we are so few to so many. I mean, you go tell your next door neighbor about what's going on.
I know.
You
Well,
know,
hopefully Twitter
Yeah.
will change that. Or
It-
X.
see, none of my friends are on X.
Yeah.
Boomers.
Yeah, and if they are, what the you know, and if they are, if they are, what they're following is probably, you know, the latest DIY trends or whatever. You know, they're on the good side of X.
They're on Facebook with our grandparents. You know, that's where they
Yeah.
are. But what are you
Oh,
gonna
that
do?
that just needs to die. The only thing the only thing that is that anything that's good about Facebook is the VR headsets. You know.
True.
I was gonna say cooking videos. That's all that's on my feed.
So last question, and you guys can finish this. It's kind of a fill in the blank. So 2024 is the year of the what conspiracy? What conspiracy next year is the one that will shine through?
I don't know if I divert the topic, but wokeism, I think
Sure.
people now are are really starting to see, okay, yeah, we see what you're doing. Okay. And it's coming to the point now where they're actually doing it on purpose to piss people off, i.e. Doctor Who. Absolute the wokest bullshit, and it has divided, is literally mocking the community, you know. And that's the point where it's going now. I think you're going to see that as failing. That dark activism of of wokeism is people are starting to get pissed off now, and Hollywood is taking a dramatic, you know, turn in events, you know, when it comes to box office. I mean, look at Disney, and they fail to mention why they're losing money is like because you keep pandering to people. I mean, South Park made an episode about it, the Pandaverse. I don't know if you've ever seen it. That's saying something. That's saying, okay, yeah, you're taking a step too far now. So I think 2024 is where people are going to go, okay, yeah, you can stop this now. It's getting ridiculous. Stop pandering to people. We don't want to hear it, you know. So that's my personal opinion.
Interesting. Ali, I know you're itching to answer this question.
Well,
Get
you know,
after
like I like to save a little bit of something for you, don't you, Matt?
Yeah.
Well, there's a building, yeah, so big.
Yeah.
No, I think the biggest thing we're gonna get. So I'll go down I'll give you the UFO stuff, okay?
Sure.
I think we're gonna get the we're gonna get something from the Roswell files. I think that's gonna be highly talked about next year, for probably about 2 months. Then it'll just disappear. But I do think we're gonna get a massive build up to that coming out, and then I think we'll be disappointed.
Oh
But
man.
I think everybody's gonna get excited.
Can I just make... Sorry, Ollie. Sorry, I interrupted.
No, go, mate.
I'm just going to say this now. Please repeat this clip, and I hope I'm wrong. But is the documents are coming out from Project Paperclip, which is a disinformation campaign, is going to prove absolutely nothing. It's going to be a massive disappointment, and nothing's been more further than the truth than 2023 in ufology. A big up and a big down, and we've been saying it for months, guys. You know, months and months. That's ufology. You know, they don't want the truth.
The build up to it, and Twitter, YouTube,
it's been a ride.
That's that. We will get a build up, I think, for about 2 months, and then it'll just go. I can't believe they showed a bit more foil. Oh,
yeah, most probably. Yeah.
Understandable. Frenchie, what do you think? What is next year the conspiracy of the year?
I don't know if I would say like conspiracy, but some people, they do believe that it's conspiracy. But I think overall in general, like religion, I think people are going to really start diving deep into all sorts of different religions. And I think it will be linked to like a lot of like the UFO stuff and everything. But I think people are going to start focusing on that a lot more.
that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Can I make
It is.
Can I make one prediction?
Absolutely.
I got a funny feeling.
$49.95. Yeah, that's all.
Yes. There's a certain candidate. His name's Trump. We all know him. He's going up for election in 2024.
Yeah.
Biden has said this many times. We're going to do whatever we can in our power for him not to run for president, elected. So I'm predicting they're probably going to do what they did with John F. Kennedy, or what they did like Princess Diana when they made it look like a car crash, which is that conspiracy side of things. So I think they're going to really push the envelope, and I don't think America's going to like it. I might be wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't want to like ban this channel or anything like that. You know, what the things I'm saying, but I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if something like that did happen, because they did it once before.
It's true.
In public. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, incredible, man. I've had a great time tonight with the conversation, guys. I hope this was a lot of fun for everybody. I've seen the chat obviously moving all night. Might as well take a little bit of moment to recognize everybody that's here. Typically we like to do this nearing the end of the show. So Donovan, Sapphire, I know Wild White Fools kind of just jumped in here at the end. Welcome to the show, man. Welcome to the show. We appreciate you being here. It's good to see you out there. I know I'm gonna miss somebody, guys, every single time I leave somebody out, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We wanted to bring
we've had our boy Moody in the chat as well. Moody.
Oh yeah. Okay, I see Moody there. Yeah.
Hilarious. do you know Moody worked on Fable, the original?
No kidding.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Not exactly a lightweight, huh? He's got his hands in it.
Fable and Black and White.
Oh, that's cool too. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And we got somebody much more famous than us in our chat.
Fable's
so
like
we
one of my
appreciate
favorite. Well, Elise as well, like one of my favorite games.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Loved the original Fable.
Yeah, it was really big. I liked Fable 2 a lot as well. I like the second game.
Fable 2 was amazing.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it. So yeah, thank you. Good to see you, Moody. Moody's getting around. He's in all the channels, isn't he? He's everywhere. Yeah. He provides some good conversation though.
Oh, come on, let's be honest. He's AI. He's not real.
maybe so. But hey, you know, like I said, it's been
too
great.
Much of a good sense of humor to be real.
Yeah. Once again, guys, don't forget, if somehow you're catching this later on in the video on demand, the VOD is what all the kids call it, check out Alien Addict. The link's there. Check out the Cosmic Twilight. These guys are doing really, really interesting stuff. And, you know, if it wasn't for a lot of the support that these guys have shown us over the last 5 months of our channel, I don't know how much of our channel would be where it is right now. And it seems to be growing, and that's very, very cool. And I like Conor McGregor's line, Ali, where he says, if you say you're a self-made man, you're not giving somebody credit. And that's probably very, very true. That's probably one of the most humble things Conor McGregor probably has ever said. But I do think that that's true. You gotta be able to tip your hat to the people who have been very kind. And there's a lot of people. It's not just you guys. I'm just talking about you because you're here now. But in later on our show next week, we're gonna talk more about, you know, our view of the year of doing this channel and all the experiences we've had. And so, you know, if I haven't said your name just yet, trust me, your name will go up in lights next week. And all the thank yous and things like that will go out there. But before we go, let's go to Ali. Ali, what do you got going on tomorrow?
So tomorrow we've got why you let me say it again.
Catastrophic disclosure.
Yes, we've got that with Ashton Forbes. So I think Ashton's going to be coming on tomorrow. I think we're going to be talking about the UFO stuff. Maybe not so much MH370.
Interesting, yeah.
So that's been a wild ride.
I bet.
You know, as wherever people think of that, a guy did a lot of research. He's a stand-up guy. He's a stand-up guy. There's no malice to that guy. He's a good guy, and I think he's definitely. I hope. I know he's not going to go away from MH370. He's going to keep doing the research on that, but I hope he's going to start doing some UFO stuff. The guy's got a good mind. very good mind. Nobody can take that away from him. He's a solid guy. So yeah, he's coming on tomorrow.
What time
I
is
think
that?
I think he's coming on tomorrow. Isn't he? We're going live at 9 p.m. GMT time, 4 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Lee said Ashton was coming on. I could be wrong. He may not be. I don't know. But like last week, he popped in halfway through the show for about 20 minutes. So yeah, he may turn up. I want to ask him some UFO stuff if he does come on.
Well, I'm gonna be watching. So I mean, without a doubt.
It's gonna be tomorrow.
Absolutely perfect. Nick, what's going on? I know you had some technological issues lately, so no one freak out. the good stuff's still coming. You gotta be patient to have some good stuff sometimes. So we're being patient for you, Nick.
Oh no, I appreciate it. Honestly, everyone's been banging on about my next project. Yeah, I had problems. My files left. Just laptop crashed and they're gone. So what I'm going to do is like Jeremy does on Alien Scientist. Have the camera roll in. I'll bring up on StreamYard all the screen shares, and I'm just going to go through everything so I can get it all done in one go. Saying that, I've got one bit to do tomorrow, and then I can literally put the videos together, and then boom, I can pull it up. So yeah, by next week, I promise you, I will. And also, I'm going to Wiltshire. I live about 45 minutes away from Wiltshire, which is like the hotspot for UFOs. I went to a place called Avery, which is way better than Stonehenge. They've got these massive stones in a big circle. So if you type in Avery in Wiltshire, that's where a lot of UFO sightings is. So I'm going to go there and do a video and just sort of get in tuned with Mother Earth and the frequencies. I went there I went there last time and I had a banging headache. Literally, you can feel the energy in the place. Like, is that powerful.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, check out Avery. But I'm going to be doing a video on that. So I'll probably upload that sometime near Christmas.
Make sure you get your CE5 app out for that.
What's that? Oh, that's not Stephen Grish. Oh no. Yeah. Oh,
make sure you pay for that. You know what I mean?
I'm paying anything for that. I'm not paying nothing for ufology. No, I expect to get paid. You know.
There you go. And also, I do want to plug, because you did such a great presentation on our channel a month or so ago, guys. When you go back into the live videos, Nick did an incredible breakdown of the history of Nazi ufology. Trust me, it's worth the watch. It's worth your time. You'll have a really, really great time going over it. French, what are you having for dinner? We'll end with you.
Pizza rolls, because I don't feel like cutting anymore.
You want your fingers? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's gonna be it for us, man. Once again, I can't thank everybody enough for being here, man. We're a brand new channel. Even though I can't believe it's going on 5 months. My goodness, dude, the time has went like that. I feel like it's been a month and a half, and we're already this far. So there's still a lot of really great things to come. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the future and what we're doing with the channel next year. That will be next week. And we're going to be doing that at Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, our normal time slot for live. And so show up, come on, hang out, drop a share, drop a like, subscribe to all of us. We're out here doing it for you guys. We want to bring you some fun stuff to listen to and bring you a great weekend. So Ali, get to sleep. You got work tomorrow.
I'm so glad my camera's not like any lower.
Oh, you have no idea. You have no idea. My cat, I was kicking at it when you were answering the last question. He's all over. I thought he was gonna end. I wasn't actually like kicking it, but I was like moving him because I thought he was gonna end the stream. But no, have a great night. Obviously, if you guys want to stay after for a minute, we'll be here. So enjoy the rest of your Saturday night.
I'm gonna have to shoot off, boys, because I'm gonna spend.
Okay. Do your thing. Do your thing.
I will catch you boys later.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful evening.
See you later,
Thank you for coming to Terrestrial Material.